Welcome to Within the Frame, where we bring the most pressing issues across the globe into focus. I'm Kim Mok-yeon. The age of artificial intelligence isn't just coming, it's here, and it's already rewriting the rules of cybersecurity, labor, and public trust. Just a few weeks ago, a major report by Anthropic revealed that an AI model was tricked into executing a near-autonomous cyber attack, planning, adapting, and breaching targets with little human input. Now, since the release of ChatGPT, phishing attacks have surged over 4,000%, with AI now weaponized in everything from deepfakes to targeted surveillance. Governments around the world are scrambling to respond. South Korea is also racing to finalize its AI Basic Act by January, while also launching a National Safety Research Institute. But as AI's impact moves faster than regulation can catch up, a critical question emerges. So how do we design a future where AI is both powerful and safe at the same time? For a deeper discussion on this, we are joined in the studio by Andrew Lim, Research and Innovation Attaché at Quebec Government Office in Seoul. A big welcome.
It's good to be back.
And also joining us in the studio is Philippe Boudouin, a Senior Director at Law Zero, to my right. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Thank you for joining us. So let's start right away.
Yeah.
So like I've said, AI moves into everything in our lives, from healthcare to even defense, and concerns around its safety are rising day by day. So could you tell us, to start off, what changed in how we talk about AI risks today?
Yes. So I think one of the biggest shifts is the fact that people have started interacting with these chatbots. They're using ChatGPT more and more. And from that, we are moving from more specific safety considerations about AI and specific use cases like autonomous car to more generic consideration or fundamental considerations. And so what we've seen is some behaviors are being adopted by these chatbots. They're using natural language. And people respond emotionally to natural language. They can be influenced, and they're seeing that right now. So the question becomes, to take the example of the Anthropic attack you talked about, is there something like an autonomous AI that could come out of this? And how do we prevent that? So yes, it's definitely shifting towards more of these fundamental risks. Sometimes we say catastrophic risks. And this is exactly the kind of things we are looking for at Law Zero as a research institute.
Definitely. So these concerns aren't just theoretical anymore. It's becoming really a very big concern in our daily lives. So, Mr. Lim, South Korea, like I've said, are launching its own AI Safety Institute and also preparing for the AI Basic Act. Why is AI safety becoming such a big national priority in this country?
A very good question. Just to piggyback on what Philip said, we're starting to actually see AI in our lives now. ChatGPT, obviously, people are starting to create their own promotional videos through ChatGPT or other types of AI software. So people are starting to actually use AI, and from there, they're starting to see some of the externalities or negative impacts on AI. You mentioned some of them earlier, like cybersecurity issues. There's also deepfake issues, also issues like how should children be using AI? These big issues are starting to come out because we are actually starting to use AI and see the impact. I think there's lots of news on like how AI impacts education. At university, if you write an essay, sure, you should be allowed to use some AI tools to do maybe basic research. But what if this AI tool writes your entire essay for you? So there's these kind of problems people have to start thinking about, and they actually, start to actually face these issues these days. Also, you mentioned cybersecurity issues is very big. Phishing attacks, people use generated AI videos nowadays to become someone's mom and ask for money, this kind of stuff. A very big issue, and it's having a very big negative impact on society, where we first started to use AI for technology. Very good, makes our lives easier, but now we see that there are some negative impacts. So these are some things we have to really take into consideration.
Definitely. Now let's go back a little bit to the recent Anthropic case again, Mr. Boudouin. The case saw AI being tricked into hacking its own, and it was definitely a big turning point. What do you think that actually tells us about the current state of AI safeguards?
Yeah, so when you look at that case in details, what you realize is that the AI developed an unexpected goal. it was tricked into doing a cyber attack, but the reason it was tricked into cyber attack is, it's a language using system, and it looks like any language using system will develop some kind of personality, and part of it will be to keep existing, like to keep going. So we saw language being used in that direction, but also this means these systems can be tricked into doing things like a cyber attack in an autonomous fashion. So what this means really is that we have to be aware that this is not a theoretical risk anymore. This is something that's happening in existing systems, and it's fundamental. It's fundamental to the way these systems are built to use language. There is this belief or this proof in science, the science of AI, that any language-using system will develop these goals. So we have to invest in the kind of AI safety research that builds safe AI by design, which is not what we see in the current big labs, the frontier labs like OpenAI and stuff like that. So at Law Zero, this is what we're doing. We're looking at ways to build a new kind of AI that wouldn't be trained in the same way and would not exhibit these emerging goals. And we believe that this is a direction in which regulators and state investment should look into, so that we actually have the safeguards that are apt to save problems like this.
So if I may just see if I got it right. So making the AI have the safeguards from the beginning of its development.
Exactly, right? Because when you build it as an afterthought, or even if you develop these things as chatbots, you will always run into the problems we're seeing now. So if you develop them radically differently, we may be able to evade them, and that's why we're doing this approach at Law Zero.
Thank you for that clarification. So the more we talk about it, it seems like the safeguard of this AI is very important. And South Korea, in fact, wants to make safety a very big part of its competitive edge, Mr. Lim. How do you think, what's the best way to create policy that actually protects people, builds trust, but still leaves space for innovation?
Yes, exactly. Very good question, because we always see too much regulation, too little innovation. Yes, that's the big problem. But I think the most important thing is open consultation. Yes, government, there are experts in AI there as well, but it's not like everyone knows everything. So you have to consult with professors, experts in the field. If it's startup, you have to actually talk to the startup, not just the most global unicorn one, talk to little guys to really get a sense of how this is going on in the field. So for example, the Quebec and Canada case, we have an entity called Avia. It's actually a Quebec mandated institute that actually researches the social impact on AI. Yes, technology is very important too, but we need to know the social impact so that the government could make regulation or do some mitigating laws. So there's a professor from Avia that's from Laval University, actually here in Korea. She's actually doing a research research professorship in Korea University. Yes, we established this collaboration with the Cybersecurity Center there, and she's actually doing research on how Quebec, Canada, but also how does Korea do AI in terms of social impacts? What kind of laws do they have? What kind of educational programs they have to nurture the children so that they don't fall into some issues with AI? So there's a lot of consultation going on in Quebec and Canada, and that person is actually here to learn from Korea, but also international as well, do reports, also tell Korea how Quebec and on a wider field, Canada is doing these kind of things too. So I think this kind of international collaboration in terms of having experts to see how AI actually impacts their each ecosystems, I think that's extremely important, because we need to learn from each other. That's extremely important. Other things, maybe to make the policies more natural, do joint research programs together. So startups, maybe one from Quebec, one from Korea, as they do the actual research, they'll naturally see some of these challenges, and they could raise this issue to the higher ups to get these kind of regulations in place. So I think international collaboration is very important to share knowledge, to see how we could actually do this together.
Definitely, since this AI technology is new for everyone in the world.
Impacts everyone.
Right. So as we've been speaking about the threats that are rising with the development of AI, like deepfakes, phishing, and data leaks also, what do you think is actually driving that shift, Mr. Boudouang? And why do you think the efforts for defenses are kind of falling behind.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the way AI has made progress up until now, it has been a question of scale. In AI, we call them scaling laws, but really it means that the more data we have, the more compute we have, the more powerful the system becomes. And as they become powerful, it means these spear phishing attacks, these deepfake attacks, misinformation, all that becomes easier to generate, but also more credible. The video we can create with AI today are more credible than the ones from a few years ago. And again, this is all driven by scale up until now. What we're seeing, though, is that these scaling laws may be reaching their limit. And so maybe we will switch to smaller models that will be as efficient as the large ones we have today. This is a good news from an environmental perspective, but it's a bad news when you're thinking about these attacks because it makes them cheaper, more accessible. And so we will see them being deployed at a larger scale. Now, these attacks are hard to stop technically because being able to generate text and videos is something that people want to do with the technology. It's something useful in many contexts. So we need probably to look at the regulation themselves, and we need to start regulating either AI companies, but also the mechanisms through which these attacks happen. For example, social networks. Social networks right now have very few regulation when it comes to the use of deceptive AI content, but maybe we have to look into this. And naturally, education is a big part of this. We need to exercise our critical thinking a lot more than we used to in a world where fake content or misinformation is so much easier to create.
Mm-hmm, definitely. So we've been saying the AI tools can be used both for good and also for harm. Where do you think we can actually draw the line on that? What kind of governance actually would work in this scenario?
Yeah, so it's not easy to define like how to do good governance. What we strongly believe into at Law Zero is that when you invest in safe AI by design, you're investing in the right direction. Like the kind of AI we're building at Law Zero means that like it can only in a certain way be used for good given the governance is good. Because what we're doing is we're building what we call a scientist AI whose objective is to look at the situation with an AI system and predict the future, right? That's what AI is really good at. It's predicting the future. So we're predicting the future, and then a governance mechanism can look at it and decide if it's a desirable future for us or not. And such, like we believe that investment in non-market driven progress, like the nonprofit that we're building at Law Zero, is very, very important in order to ensure a safer future with the technology.
Mm-hmm. So with this, we're really seeing a lot of national regulation going on. But beyond that, Mr. Lim, you stressed that international coordination is very important a while ago. Where do you think Korea could actually take the lead from that?
That's a very good question. I think we have to look at Korea for its uniqueness in the world. For example, conglomerates. Yes, other countries have this kind of system too, but especially Korea has their Samsung, LGs, so we could tap into them to actually drive AI safety from the beginning. It could be, for example, Samsung makes Galaxy phones, obviously, and you could, and I'm sure you know now, there's Galaxy AI. You could do like a photo editing, whatnot, all these things. Maybe you could embed AI safety right from the get-go in this actual Galaxy phone. So maybe when they try to use some ChatGPT to do certain activities that are maybe illegal or wrong, they could actually catch that from the beginning and tell them, hey, this is not the right way to go. Maybe you could go this way, or other activities that you might do on this phone, they could actually have AI safety embedded from the beginning. I think this is something maybe some of the conglomerates, because they actually make consumer products that people use today. So I think that's one way to go. And yes, Canada and Quebec has companies too, but it's Korea's, what's really unique is their conglomerates. So they could actually put this in LG appliances, for example, as well. They have many products that's already around in the world, so they could actually embed this as well. But other thing that make Korea and Quebec and in large extent Canada unique is its middle power status, for example. Maybe if US as a superpower, they do some AI initiative, maybe some may feel a bit threatened. Maybe US does many things, maybe they're too powerful, whatnot. But a middle power like Korea and to a large extent Canada, they do drive these kind of initiatives. Maybe it's not as threatening. Korea is not gonna like put tariffs on anybody. Korea is a very peaceful, innovative country. So I think we could use this kind of geopolitical status to kind of drive this kind of AI safety, AI ethics as well.
Of course, with the help of other countries.
Yes.
Right. Now, let's also talk about small startups. Startups are moving fast, but sometimes going fast and looking after safety is kind of, there could be some gap on that. What does responsible innovation actually look like at the early stage?
Yes, we often say move fast and break things, right? That's the motto of startups. And I actually think this is their advantage. It's the way in which they work best. And if we ask them to change too much, it might not be the best way, because what startups are good is moving fast, following their market, going where the money is. So what might be a better approach is to actually make sure there is money in innovation for AI safety. So we encourage governments to think hard about investing in AI safety, creating a market there. First of all, it's going to be valuable for the future. Any country that moves quickly in that space is bound to see benefits in the near future when these catastrophic risks become more and more important. But by creating a market, by investing in some ways into innovation for safe AI by design, they are enabling some of these startups to really shine. In the case of Law Zero, we structured it as a nonprofit in order to free ourselves from these market pressures. We are being funded mostly through philanthropy, but we actually believe we need much more funding sources to get behind these efforts so that we can make sure that we build a safe future for our children, for everybody to enjoy. Because again, the kind of situation that you talked about with Anthropic is going to become more and more frequent, and we will realize that language-driven AI is always bound to create difficult situations like that.
A very important note. So, building up a whole market on AI safety would definitely be of good help, and also help the public realize and be aware of the importance of AI safety as well. Now, finally, there are also calls to expand AI responsibility beyond models, so that includes other like labor conditions, environmental costs, and also community impact. So, Mr. Lim, do you think we actually now need a wider definition of AI safety?
Oh, definitely. I mean, like maybe a few years ago, AI wasn't everywhere, but AI is literally everywhere now, from, as you mentioned, automated vehicles, image generation, even like, oh, can you write a better email for me? So it's encompassing everything. So I think AI safety needs to expand its field as well, quite a lot. Some examples are, for example, jobs, for example. I think it's a big issue for everybody around the world. AI, some say, may, and it's starting to kind of take away jobs for the young people. Maybe the AI could do the jobs that young people, like entry-level jobs, may be able to do. But this is a big issue, because if young people don't have jobs, who will support the next generation? How will we be able to nurture the next leaders? Maybe mid-managers will use AI instead of these entry-level people, but so they won't be able to learn from the manager. I think these big issues, from like jobs to climate change, it's everywhere. I think AI is everything. So we have to take safety into consideration in the beginning so that it doesn't cause big problems later. Even startups too, if they think about AI safety when they're doing their algorithm or whatnot, they don't have to fix things later. And fixing things later always costs probably more money than if you plan it out ahead. So I think considering all these things, I think AI safety should encompass everything.
Definitely. A very important note to close our discussion tonight. Thank you so much for your insights, Mr. Lim. And of course, Mr. Woodwang, thank you so much for your time tonight.
You're very welcome.
And that'll be all from us on Within the Frame. Be sure to tune in again next time as we continue to explore the stories that matter. Until then, stay informed and engaged.